Hey everyone, I'm Mitch. Welcome to the Legendary Galaxy. Today, I'm going to make a rug, a Star Wars rug. So I'm starting off doing this rug. I've never made one before. My kids have the stuff to make rugs, and it's a lot of really cool stuff, so I'm going to try it out. This is a frame, and it's just made out of wood with some carpet tacks on the edges, and this is monk's cloth, and it's stretched really tightly here, as tight as you can get it. And what we need to do next is put an image on it. So you just use a projector, and I'm going to put an old Star Wars logo on it. So I just have a Sharpie marker, and I'm just going to start basically tracing the logo right onto the fabric. Go around until I have it all completed. You can see here that I traced it all, and I think I'm ready to go. So this is the rug gun. And you can see it's kind of scary, but it has a sharp point here, and you just put the yarn through the needle. So I made a little yarn holder just so it came off easier. And so now I have this little threader. It's just a wire that you put through the front of this needle, which is a pretty big needle, and then you put it through this other loop here. And then you take the thread and just pull it through. So here I go. And as I'm doing this, I felt that it was very bouncy and weird. It was okay, so I kept going here. And it just felt really strange doing this. It felt like it wasn't working right. And as I got to the top here, I just started to destroy the fabric. Started here, and this is where it went really bad. And it just ate up the fabric, just destroyed it, cut it completely. So guess what? I had to start over. I got online and went in some Reddit posts and looked, and Joann's monk cloth does not work for this. It just destroys it. So I bought some new fabric, and it's called Prime Monk's cloth, and it has yellow lines down it. So I started over, and I also read that using 2 spools of thread at the same time through the needle helps it immensely work better. So I started over. You can see I practiced there on the side a little bit, and I'm just taking my time, taking it easy, and it is working so much better. In fact, you can see I'm just doing the black outline, and it continues to go well. It does take a lot of practice, and I feel like there's a couple times that it just wasn't working, and it's just a matter of keeping it tight but not too tight, and having the right pressure on the gun. And it just takes a lot of time and learning to do that. A lot of practice, I guess. But this being my first rug, it was working, so I just continued to go for it. And here you can see, I'm just going to turn it around and show you. On the back side, it's making a rug, a black outline of the rug. So I was pretty pleased. And now that I got the black, I'm just going to come in here with the yellow. And I was feeling a lot more confident with the yellow. I was getting down the pressure and what it took. And with the yellow yarn, it was just working perfectly for a while. So I just went ahead and continued to do it. So as I was doing it, I got it all filled in, but I had some problems. So it just tore it up in a few places. But I got on the internet after some worrying and I made some patches. But you can see on the front, looks great, but you can see I have some giant holes there. So this is the process of how you finish it off on the back. And I use some carpet glue and you just kind of spread it over the back with a putty knife, and it just holds all of those yarn pieces in place. So you just cover the whole back of it. And you can also see that I'm putting glue on the back of these. These are the pieces I'm going to patch the rug after the fact. So once you're done with this, you let the glue dry for 24 hours. And to make it so I could patch the rug after the fact, I put this piece of monk's cloth on it. Not the prime, but this is just a piece so I could fix it. And now that it's all dried for 24 hours, I just cut it out of the back and I leave about 1 to 2 inches so I can fold it over. So now that that's done, I flipped it over and got out my handy dandy hot glue gun. And you just put some down and glue it over. I made sure to wear gloves because I burned my hands too many times on a hot glue gun. Go around the whole outside just to give it a nice finished look. A lot of people also put a nice fabric on the back, like a felt, just to make it even look nicer. I also cut the corners with scissors, that fabric, just to give it a nice clean look as it wraps around the corners. And it makes it easier to hot glue gun. And now that I have that all finished on the back, I'm just going in with some scissors and cleaning up the long pieces of carpet, getting it all cleaned up. And you can see here I've cleaned it up on the R and the S, and where it's not cleaned up on the other letters, and it's just looking a lot nicer. And now I'm going to put in some glue to glue those edges where it just wasn't quite working. And that hole became pretty bad there. You can see how bad I messed it up there. But I'm using like the E6000 glue. It's very strong and flexible. And I'm just gluing the edges first. And then I have my piece that I glued, and I'm just gonna cut it to size of where the hole is. And then I just put in a lot of that E6000 glue, and you can see that I've put some plastic behind it in case it goes through a little bit. And now I'm just going to stick that piece in that I carved out. Just make sure it's good and tight in there. It's kind of like carpet patching, and I've seen some other rug makers do this when they've messed up a little bit, but I just kind of stuck that in, made sure it was tucked under the other colors, and it really worked good, actually. I feel like it saved my rug. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the T here. I cut my piece out to the size and put in the E6000 glue. And you can see after a little bit more trimming up, I got a rug. Star Wars rug. So yeah, making a Star Wars rug was a little bit of a challenge, but really fun, and I learned a lot from it. So yeah, and I got me a Star Wars rug made by me. So thanks for joining me. And if you like this project or other Star Wars projects, join me again on the Legendary Galaxy.